3 out of 5 stars. Okay, story of the Ice Age gang having another adventure, this time with dinosaurs. Not very clever, nothing for adults, but the kids should enjoy.
That's it?
That's it!
They should enjoy it, but do they? I guess. I guess.
Welcome to another episode of the Speakuel podcast where we three experiments do a bit of our own experiments, going plumbing into the depths, different worlds, different paths, different eras, and we try to make sense of it all, see the interconnectedness of it, and there's nothing more connected than connecting with our past. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get a.
I feel like you're trying really hard to make something.
Listen, you don't have to turn this into anything. It can just be what it is. This is Ice Age 3.
Dawn of the Dinosaurs.
There are dinosaurs in this one, and really we can't give you much more than that.
But I mean, that's all we need, really.
It is right. Like, there's no need for filler with Ice Age 3 Dawn of the Dinosaurs, because you know what? There's fucking dinosaurs in this one. That's cool.
Yeah, they got a big T-Rex. They got one with the the mace on the end of its tail.
And Kylosaur. They got some pterodons.
They got a pterodactyl in there.
Yeah,
they got a few of those.
They got a lot of pterodactyls.
they got a lot of pterodactyls.
So, Ice Age 3 is green. Unlike the other two movies, which are only a little bit green in some parts, this movie is mostly green, predominantly even green in color. Yes. It's like the Matrix over here, you know what I'm saying?
Well, honestly, it seems more orange to me.
Oh yeah, like all the lighting, it's like very orange. It's like warm. This movie, yeah, warm.
I feel like I'm incubated in amber here, like watching this movie.
So this movie takes place predominantly in the underground area where King Kong is from.
I was about to say, when we were watching the movie, I was like, this feels familiar. Didn't we watch a movie about this the other night with King Kong versus Godzilla?
You know, I didn't watch that movie with y'all. I saw it recently, though, and it's sort of related. Giant mammals, anyway. I like that big monkey, and I don't want to give away spoilers, but they made him kind of badass, didn't they?
They really did make King Kong badass.
They gave him some just badass moments.
I wish he was in Ice Age 3. I really think he should have been in Ice Age 3.
There was kind of like, I mean, Buck was sort of like King Kong.
Well, that's generous.
Well, yeah, maybe a little bit.
But there is a connectedness there, where Ice Age 3, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, makes no, qualms about what it is, It doesn't meander. It doesn't, have pacing issues. It's just a really solid dinosaur movie. You have an adventure. You have a kind of screw loose tour guide in Buck Wild, this little weasel who guides our main characters as they go off to rescue Sid for some reason.
I don't know why I didn't think that his full name was Buck Wild. I thought his name was just Buck Weasel or something like that. I thought Buck Wild might have been his catchphrase, but it's also his catchphrase and his name.
Well, that's what makes it so funny.
That is funny. No, I'm not complaining. I'm just clarifying to myself.
Well, I think that you. I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, everyone else is just Sid the Sloth, Manny the Mammoth. Like, they don't have last names.
Like, this
Why would
Buck
the Weasel
Wild.
Yeah. He definitely gave himself that name, though. Like, absolutely gave himself that name.
Of course.
That was a post-dinosaur world name.
What do you think his name? I really do. We don't have to talk about it now, but maybe later, which I'll be interested in thinking about, like, maybe his story a little bit, like what he was before he went to the Dino Zone to fight. What was the creature's name? His arch enemy, Rudy. Before Rudy, a pre-Rudy Buck.
Yeah, that's some interesting theory crafting we can do. Let's touch base first with what are, I guess, for lack of a better word, our main characters.
Yeah, what we know.
Yeah, what we know. We have, of course, let's go through Manny, Sid, and Diego. The bros, the original trio, the ones who just kickstarted this movie series off. I'll just start by saying this. Manny has transformed into an unrecognizable character.
Well,
yeah.
he has now completed his metamorphosis. He is now complete Ray Romano. I would assume that Ray Romano is a bit of a family man because it's a sitcom, so that's what I'm gonna go with. He is just so different. Like, I mean, he's still rude and mean.
He's still grumpy, but the thing is, Ellie, his lover now.
His wife is beautiful. He's preggers.
Yeah, she's pregnant, and he has gone full, like, overprotective, kind of manic dad mode. And I wouldn't necessarily, like, have a problem with this turn if it was, expanded on a little better, because I feel like there was a moment where there could have been a moment where he's like, yeah, I had a family at one point and they all died, and that's why I'm overprotective of my new family.
Oh,
but there is
fun,
none of that. There's absolutely none of that.
That would have been a level of depth that would have made the kiddos cry, though.
Well, I think that, for one thing, this movie's trying to just, like, it's a more thrilling movie with, like, a lot of set pieces and stuff. But I think what's interesting about this dynamic is just, like, it's more focused on, like, the insecurities that these characters have in themselves, rather than, like, especially, like, the found family aspect. Like,
right.
The main thing here is why, like, they're put into this situation with dinosaurs, not just because, hey, kids love dinosaurs, but also just that Manny and Ellie, they're, like, the biggest things here. They're mammoths. They're the champions of the Ice Age, of their world. But then they get brought into this new environment, the dinosaurs world. The Lost World, as is a famous trope. And
the Lost World.
And now all of a sudden they're not the biggest things. They're very, like, scared. They're very helpless, and it's a good, like, sort of dynamic that goes throughout the movie of them, like, being helpless in this new world and, like, trying to come to terms with that, with they need to stick together to be a group.
And they're having a baby!
And they're having a baby!
Oh, there's all the little tyke on its way.
And Sid's upset, like, the same reason he was upset the last movie, that he's not, like, nobody cares about him, I guess. It's still nobody gives a shit about him.
I think Sid is hilarious because the theming that links all three movies together in my, like, head right now is that the only people that can stand Sid are babies. Or infants. Only literal fucking newborns can fucking stand to be around Sid. And that doesn't ever last.
Diego, on the other hand, he's wanting to leave. He feels like he's losing his predator drive. We do see him try and hunt, so that answers the question. He does hunt. He tries, or at least he tries to.
He does it, I guess he just does it in secret so nobody gets to see him do it. Like, I'm sure Manny's just like, oh yeah, I understand. I mean, it's unfair for me to try and make you eat plants. Go eat people I don't like. Eat my enemies.
That seems to be the dynamic. It's not like he hides it, really. So, like, he probably just eats jerks. Like that one, like, antelope who, like, made fun of him. I think I think that would be a way to justify it to the kids, you know?
Yeah, it just show the creature being an absolute asshole, and then you can show Diego just killing them.
I never understood why that was, like, not more of a, like, point for, like, shows and cartoons with this sort of problem to make. Like, you know, it's like, man, I'm a good person, but I have to eat meat. That's easy.
Madagascar does that.
Yeah, wait, did they do the thing where they only eat bad guys?
No.
Well, that's what I was going to get to.
That's what they should do.
That was the point. The point I was trying to make was, like, there are a lot of cartoons that do that, Madagascar included. I just don't understand why they don't go the route of, like, oh yeah, he's cool. He eats bad people. He's not a vegetarian or anything. He's no Leo the Lion, definitely.
Oh my god, I'm a vegetarian.
Don't watch that movie, anybody who's
Please
listening.
don't watch that movie. It's so sickening to watch that movie. I feel ill every time I see Leo the Lion in his, like, malnourished body.
Like, he looks like a skeleton just, like, dragging across the world, and he's just like, I need to get to the eternal cave of milk and honey so me and these children can live.
Hey, this isn't Leo the Lion, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, alright?
They should have put dinosaurs in Leo the Lion. It would have been such a great move.
They have an elephant in that, though, which is
He's voiced by Matt Mercer.
Man, that's so fucked.
Oh, okay,
This is a tangent that can go long no longer, but because Rene, you're obviously getting a little mad at us, a little upset. So.
It's fine. It's all right. You know.
Rene's like, it's fine. You keep talking about Leo the Lion.
I'm done. We're talking about dinosaurs now. How about Sid and how he found 3 eggs and he just took them?
Yeah, Sid finds 3 eggs under the ice and he decides, I'm going to be a mom now.
By kidnapping these 3 eggs that he doesn't know, like, where it is from. But, you know, the framing of it here, you know, makes it a bit more reasonable than I think they would have done in other movies. In like, the other 2 movies, it would just be like, yeah, he's just, like, completely an unreasonable jerk. But those eggs were just kind of in the ice, freezing.
That's true. I don't know. At some point, the mama T-Rex comes back to, like get her babies, but why did she put them there?
Weren't they in, like,
why were the eggs there to begin with?
Weren't they in a cave?
They were, like, in an icy cave, and
why didn't the T-Rex go further in? Like, why did the T-Rex lay those eggs out of the tropical climate that dinosaurs probably like?
Well, have you ever seen the beginning of the movie Dinosaur? You know how far that egg goes? Eggs can go a long way.
Oh, that is kind of the theming. Oh, I love Dinosaur. That's a good way for us to kind of, like, we can think about this movie from the lens of someone who has watched Dinosaur.
Yes, exactly. Well, the eggs are little baby T-Rexes, and they like Sid. They, like, listen to him, and they like his children. They're a bit misbehaviors. They do wreck Manny's little playground that he made for his future child, and Manny gets mad about it. But you know, other than that, they seem to like him. And when the mama T-Rex shows up to, like, get Sid, like, they're like scared of her.
They're quite a rowdy bunch, I'd say.
I think this movie does a better job at, like, giving Sid an arc. You know, it's not like a really substantial arc where he learns a lot. I mean, he does learn by the end, but it's not. He doesn't get a lot of screen time actually, and doesn't, like, actually get a lot of development. But, you know, it's some funny mom antics for him, and, like, maybe it's best to, like, keep him out from, like, bothering other people and just, you know, caring for some little dinosaurs and having mishaps like that.
Y'all remember a lot of pediatrician commercials or something that had Sid in them?
What?
I feel like I remember a lot of, like, commercials from when I was younger that had Sid, like, playing that, like, that that motherly role, just like get your kid when your kid's feeling sick, you need to take care of him. He's like, oh, it looks like you're running a fever. We need to take you to the pediatrician.
I think so.
Doesn't that
You absolutely hallucinated this. This is not real.
No, it's real. It must be. Like, I feel like Sid has definitely been like, yeah, take some Ice Age vitamins.
I could believe that's a real thing, but I've never seen that before.
Like,
that's
okay,
so hilarious to think about.
The vitamins thing, yes, I can see Sid hawking some Ice Age, like, vitamins.
But I feel like I've seen...
But, like, you think he looks at the camera and says, call your pediatrician.
Like, I feel like I've seen him, like, giving genuine, like, advice on TV about, like, you know, like, just, like, a genuine, like, take care of your children commercial, you know what I mean? Like, a genuine, like eat well. He made
a Family Guy commercial. He's been in a Family Guy commercial. Is that the same thing?
I feel like Sid the Sloth is definitely advertised, like, some sort of, like, pediatricianal, like, commercial. That must be real. So, what other stuff about this movie?
Sid gets kidnapped by the mama dinosaur, and it seems like nobody really wants to go rescue him except for Diego and Ellie. Like, Diego is left at this point. He's like, I'm on my own. And he sees Sid, like, getting taken away, and he goes and follows and stuff. And Ellie is like, Manny, we have to go save him. And Crash and Eddie, who are the Possum Brothers, who are still the most annoying nothing characters, and they do jack shit all movie except interject every once in a while to say something, like, trailer worthy.
There was a point where they're just like, nobody hurts our sis, and they literally hadn't said anything, like, or really, we hadn't really, like, got a good look at them for maybe, like, 15 minutes, it felt like
like
15
they're always, like, don't get us wrong, they're always in the scenes.
They're there, but they don't talk, right?
Yeah, they have, like, a big gay crush on Buck Wild, who is the Weasel tour guide, who I feel like we just need to start talking about him now, because he is absolutely my favorite Ice Age character.
I agree.
He's a really good character. He's just like, you know, he's a fun guy to have, like, in this, like, dangerous, like, natural world. Like, you know, he's an adventurer. He's charismatic. He's a bit like unhinged, you know, in a fun way, and like you have a lot of fun with him.
He's somebody with a lot of experience, but he's also a wild card.
Yeah, and like, you know, he's really the spirit of this movie. That's like, you know, unlike the second movie, which I feel like tried to, like, get some, like, thrills going, get some, like, drama, get some adventure going. It kind of was lackluster and forgettable. The stakes and the adventure in that movie. But this one, it's very clear, it's very concise. We gotta go through this, like, specific, like, path through this, like, evil dinosaur land to save Sid. There's, like, you know, some nice cool spots, and Buck is there to, like, take you all the way through. You'll see some, like, mammoth eating plants, rather, like some chasms, some raptors, all that.
Man-eating plants.
Well, they have, it really feels like an adventure. Like, you're going on this fun adventure with Buck, and he's kind of crazy, but he's, you know, also competent in a way, and it's just fun. It's just fun time. And, you know, Ellie comes along, even though she's pregnant, and probably shouldn't. I don't know if that's, you know, not girl boss of me to say, but I don't think Ellie should have gone on this adventure, despite how much she insists she should be on the adventure.
Listen, if you're having a baby and you want to have this baby, and your water's going to break, maybe even within the next hour and 45 minutes, maybe you shouldn't go on some sort of extravagant journey with a bunch of dangerous, huge monsters.
But that's the thing, though, isn't it? This plot is threaded nicely, and it makes sense because she is the only one out of anybody on Earth to, like, say, hey, we should help Sid. We should go after him. Especially in this moment. Because, like, you know, right before Sid gets kidnapped by the mama T-Rex, he's just, like, basically broken all ties with Diego and Manny by, like, you know, ruining, like, Manny's, like, family plans, basically, his little playground and stuff. So, like, he definitely, like, would have just wanted to see him die, but Ellie, like, trudging forward and seeing, like, having a moral compass and being like, no, we can't let Sid just die. I'm going in there, and so, like, Manny will have to follow along and help. And then Diego just wanted to help Sid of his own volition.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Diego shippers, we still got a leg in this race, but let me just tell you right now, a new player has entered the battlefield.
You're definitely right about that. And then the silhouette of
Buck
shows up, and it's like there's a big exclamation point.
Challenger.
And suddenly
I foreshadowed this, not so subtly in the first movie that Diego and Buck definitely a pair, and how I was proven in this, you know, they got a thing going in this movie where, like, Buck is like an inspiration to Diego. You know, he's like a predator that, like, you know, a real wild man that like takes charge of nature, and Diego feeling like a bit out of his element, out of his game, you know, gets the confidence from him. And they, you know, they have some, like, interesting dialogues, you know. Buck acts a bit wacky, and, like, I think, what was this thing? They were calling, like, Buck different names around the campfire, and then Diego says Diesel Buck, and then
Buck
a little, like, ditty, and they're having fun with each other. There's something for here. I'm instigating the new shipping faction, Duck Shippers.
I believe.
Let's go.
Duck?
Here we are.
Duck.
You know what I was about to say? I was about to say Biego.
Biego.
Duck, Biego,
What
whatever
about,
you want to call it.
What about Bucko?
Bucko?
Bucko.
Bucko's not too bad.
Bucko.
Bucko.
My army buggos. Buggos. Might need some work, but
we have a leg in this race because Manny, forget about that guy. He's out of it. I'm sorry, Danny Shippers. We lost here.
Yeah, how could we
over.
ever have won? He's having a child, and his wife is really talented at cleaning up after birth. Because there is none in this movie.
Way to dispel the doubt right away.
Yeah, okay, Ellie gives birth during, like, towards the climax of the adventure, and, like, there's a moment where Manny and Diego are, like, looking at each other and talking, and then they like, as Ellie's, like, you know, struggling and, you know, giving birth, I guess, and then they turn towards her and she's just holding the baby, and it's, like, clean and, you know, cute and like a baby.
Or rather, she's holding an exact carbon copy of herself from the second movie in the flashback.
Yeah, she was a child.
Yeah.
Wasn't it you who realized that, Rene? Or was it you?
No, it was you, I think, Gert.
It wasn't.
No, it was me. It was literally me.
It was Lou.
Oh.
I said, that's probably. Do you think they used the same model that they used in the second movie when Ellie was a kid?
God, yeah.
I would love to see the two, like, up close and personal next to each other, but I'm, like, almost positive. I'm so positive that it's true that I don't even think I need to look.
The baby is named Peaches.
Yeah.
Peaches. Peaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peaches.
Yeah, that came from, like, you know, like, what's the word to say to, like, when the baby's coming, and then they have some jokes about, like, fruit. The pregnancy craving joke. You know, you gotta.
My god, the pregnancy jokes.
There's a lot of pregnancy jokes. I mean,
hormone jokes. There's a lot of, like. Still, they feel the need to make Ellie do a bunch of, like, oh, you think I'm fat, you know, like, wife jokes, which They're mammoths.
Maybe,
Come on, guys.
maybe in
They're
the fourth,
mammoths.
maybe in the fourth movie, maybe we'll get past this, because I was thinking that maybe the pregnancy jokes are them trying to, like, maybe wean off of the fat jokes, because it's a little different. There's a baby in there, you know? I'm not fat, I just got a little baby in my belly. But they still had a couple of fat-phobic jokes in there. It's a mammoth, they're mammoths.
Yeah, they're mammoths.
They're mammoths.
I'm looking at my notes here, and I just want to tell y'all something that Rene said as Ellie was like, "Oh no, the baby's here!" And like it's right at the climax where like lava's coming, Rudy's around, the big dinosaur that Buck has a backstory with, which put a pin in that. And Rene goes, "Oh, I hate precarious pregnant situations."
Yeah, literally.
I do, because it's very precarious.
You said that right as they were just, like, she was, like, jumping around on rocks that were, like, balanced really the second time in the series where this has happened. Where they're on very, very precariously placed rocks and they're high up in the air.
The third time. That happened in the first movie, too, except with, like, ice.
God.
But you know, it's no joke. You know, you can't bounce around with a baby. You can't super monkey ball with like the babies in the oven here.
Did you say like stress can kill a baby?
It can. It actually can.
You said stress can literally kill a baby, and that kind of like I thought about that when you said it, and I was like, huh, that's true. That's horrible.
Well, by the end, we get our big whole, like, everybody's a family again, found family, herd, blah, blah. Anyway, let's talk about Buck's super badass backstory.
Yeah, so, like, I was saying that this, like, is a more dramatic movie. Like, it's got... I don't usually, like... Well, sometimes when I'm watching a movie, I'll listen for the does this sound generic? Is this, like, a generic orchestral movie score? Or does it have a little something that intrigues me? And it is a general movie, like, orchestral score, but, like, it's got, like, a bit of bombast to it that I was like, yeah, and, like, the visuals are, like, a lot, like, nicer, they're crisper, it's just a lot of, like, great, like, you know, colors and, like, animation, especially from Buck. So it's a lot more of a quality movie that keeps you, like, looking at it. Yeah,
Diego's fur also has, I mean, everybody's fur has a really good, like,
texture
lighting,
to it,
like a texture.
lighting.
It's very nice. Diego especially, I think, looks like a silken rug almost. It's
yeah.
like he looks very silky.
But yeah, they just have this very dynamic scene where Buck is talking about Rudy, this big... What is he? What kind of dinosaur?
Yeah.
He's a baryonyx, Rudy.
Oh, yeah. Big, like, kind of almost... I want to say almost like... He's got like a crocodile mouth almost. It's like very thin. And he's big dinosaur guy. And I guess when the weasel, Mr. Buck, came down to the Dino Land, he came across Rudy and had an epic showdown with him where he was partially eaten for a while and then busted his way out and like stole his tooth. And it's got this like, there's a storm lighting and like you never really get a good look at Rudy. There's just really good silhouettes and like the clouds are forming around him and it's just really like intense. And I'm like, whoa, like this is the battle of all battles, like this little weasel David versus Goliath kind of thing going on. And I just wanted to know more. What did Buck have before this? What kind of life did he lead?
He had hair. Well, like
more
hair. He had like a hairstyle shaped out of his fur is what he had.
That's pretty cool. It's a lot cooler than when the mammoths do it.
It is a lot cooler. Well, I think there's only one thing left to talk about. They gave Scrat a girlfriend.
We have gone through this whole thing without talking about Scrat once.
I am impressed by us, but also we gotta get through it. Scrat's really important to every movie. Even if Scrat is just promotional material and like just where they get all the trailer scenes from, Scrat,
Scrat is the thing about Scrat is this is what I've come to learn. There are always two movies in one Ice Age movie. You watch Ice Age, the first one, and you can watch a movie about the baby and the mammoth and the sloth and the saber-toothed tiger, or you could watch at the same time the movie about the squirrel and the rat. Same with the second movie, and now with the third one, they added another character into the Scrat and Nut scenes, and all of a sudden we got like, we have this whole revenge thing. We got these characters because at first Scrat and Girl Scrat, who is just she's got like tits and like makeup on. I don't.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They did a really good job at letting us know that she was a girl, because what if I looked at her, I would have saw that she just looked like Scrat, I would have said, "What the fuck? That's gay," but it's not. So, like, we can watch the movie and we don't have to, feel...
Yeah? Just gotta... feel?
Anyway, so they gave the squirrel tits and makeup.
They did, and they're... Like, they hate each other at first. There's a little twist and tug, and then they suddenly fall in love after Scrat saves her from lava, and then you gotta have, like... the nagging wife joke, because Scrat was living the good life with his wife, and then all of a sudden she turns into a nag, and he's like, "Ooh, I don't like this anymore."
Yeah, he's moving the couch, and then she tells him, "Oh, move it over there." And
God, that's so annoying when your wife. My wife yesterday told me to move the couch. And I looked out the window and I stared at the giant nut that I used to be married to. And I was just like, I miss it, I really miss it, man.
Scrat ends up back with the nut. He kills the woman.
She's a flying squirrel. She was fine.
I like the part where she fell into the mist, and that was earlier in the movie, but I just wanted to get that quick bit out there where he just knocked. That was where we found out that she was a flying squirrel. Where Scrat knocks her off a cliff and you see her fall into the abyss.
Oh my god. Sorry, I just remembered. Hey, so towards the beginning of the movie when Sid has the eggs,
yeah,
like everyone's being really mean to him for having the eggs.
Oh god, are we talking about this?
And then, so he goes in and he like sits under like a little like half cave thing, lights a fire, and like he's like
oh my god, we almost didn't talk about it. Thank you, Lucy.
He hugs the eggs to him, and he's like thinking about, like, he sees, like, as the sun is coming up, he sees like
the
kind
embryos.
of inside, he sees like the embryos inside of it, and he's like, oh, there's life in here, and he hugs them to him, and then like we pan out and there's like his shadow on the wall looks like he's pregnant, and he's like rubbing his belly.
And like, they don't, I shit y'all not, and I'm talking to the audience, not y'all. There's real tenderness intended with this scene, I feel. Like, it felt...
No, it wasn't a joke.
It wasn't a joke. It was not a joke.
Like a meaningful, like, beautiful thematic shot of Sid tenderly, like, experiencing the joys of childcare, and it showed him pregnant as like not like explicitly, but like it's like implied,
symbolically,
metaphorical, tastefully.
The fact that I'm like, why is it more funny that it was like really like sweet in a way? Like, it was kind like, I don't like Sid that much, but when I saw that scene, I thought, they want me to feel like Sid really loves being a parent, and he's the only one who they just aren't allowing to be yet.
Not yet. I guess we'll have to see in the next movie.
Maybe in the next movie, yeah.
We didn't even touch upon the co-parenting of the mama T-Rex and the Sid, but we don't got time for that. We gotta go. The sun's coming up.
I will say one last thing before the scientists start the alarm. Imagine if they never got Sid back, and he just lived with that big T-Rex, and it was kind of like a donkey and dragon situation. And that's exactly what it would be.
Well,
I think that'd be a good ending.
that would be a good. I think that would be good for him. But I guess we'll have to see what they decided to do for Sid because we got another movie. I don't know what the next one's called. I think there's pirates in it.
I can't wait for
There's
Buck's
pirates
big
in
adventure.
it. We got teen angst.
Oh boy, let's
Wait,
get to
who's a teen? I'm wondering who's gonna be the teen in this one.
Oh, I guess we'll just have to find out next time.
next time on Ice Age 4.
Next time on Ice Age 4, Battle of the Drift.
I've been Rene.
I'm Lucy.
I am Gert.
And
Bye.
here we go. Bye.
Bye.